Hey, I'm Kyle with Review.com, and today we're talking about the Fujifilm X-Pro2. The X-Pro2, when it landed on my desk, kind of took me by surprise because I haven't shot with Fuji a lot. By looking at it, I thought it was going to be a big, honking, rangefinder, but it's actually surprisingly light, but it still feels like incredibly well built, which blew me away, honestly. It's actually probably my favorite rangefinder that I've ever shot with. Even more so than the Leica monochrome, which I took out for like 12 hours straight and shot with. I loved that camera. I love rangefinders, and this one by far has blown me away. It's got a lot of cool features that a lot of rangefinders don't have. It has an optical and electronic viewfinder that can switch back and forth. That's something that came over from the X-Pro1. But then they added in a picture-in-picture mode for when you're shooting with the optical rangefinder. You can actually put a little digital image in the bottom right corner to help you focus and catch exposure while you're using an optical viewfinder. They added a joystick to the back for focusing and choosing your focal point, which is something I think every camera should have. If you look at the back here, it's actually pretty spaced out, but it has every button you could possibly want on a camera. You'll never have to go into menus to change anything at all. The only thing that could be kind of a problem is sometimes I would bump into the exposure compensation dial up here. Sometimes it would just get like hung on something when I'm pulling it up. But other than that, I mean, all the buttons are perfectly spaced. The command dials on the front and back actually click as buttons. The rear command dial kind of is hard to click in as a button because it's so flush with the frame, but the front one's just fine. But yeah, all the buttons are pretty awesome and well placed as well. In the lab, this camera was a monster. It's one of the highest scoring cameras that we've ever tested, period. Not to mention the highest scoring rangefinder that we've tested. It absolutely blew away sharpness tests, had great color, great white balance. It pretty much killed all of our tests. And something that Fujifilm has struggled with in the past has been video, and this camera has pretty much put all of the downsides that previous Fujifilm cameras have had to rest. So the X-Pro2 is going to retail for around $1,700 body only. That sounds a little pricey for a body only rangefinder, but given the fact that it's one of the best cameras that we've ever tested, and it's easily the best rangefinder that you can get on the market at the moment, that's a pretty fair price. It's a monster in the lab, I love shooting with it in the field, and I'm really having a hard time finding anything bad to say about it. But if you want to check out the full review, head over to Review.com.